Thoughts, the Cars podcast. The Fanorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of Steel Wool, Sunshine, and Rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, episode 29. I'm one of your hosts, Dave, and with me, as always, my partner in crime. She's got sunshine, she's got rainbows. Woodland animals flock around her when she enters the forest, by golly. It's Donna, Sweet Purple June McLevin.
Hey.
Hey. I'm ready to pod.
I got a new last name, huh? Yeah, you are.
You do. I'm ready to pod. I got my Rick Fly.
Ooh.
I got my Rock Hall 2018 coin.
Nice.
I've got my gold Kennedy half cars dollar.
Okay.
I've got my debut album lapel pin.
Nice.
White, not red.
Nice.
I got my Pocket Dave.
Hey.
What more do I need to pod?
Very nice. What shirt are you wearing?
Oh, well, May the 4th be with you, Donna.
Ah.
I'm wearing my May the 4th be with you shirt, but I am wearing my Cars hat, my new Cars hat.
Ooh, nice. Good.
I'll have to get my patch on that bad boy, but
Yeah. Very nice. I don't have quite as many accessories as you do, but I am wearing my purple Night Thoughts podcast t-shirt, which I love. And
when did you get that?
When did I get it?
Yeah.
Before Cleveland.
Really?
I've had it for
purple? I thought you had blue. Light blue.
No, I have a blue Chris Morris shirt that I wore on a podcast, and I have a gray Night Thoughts with the original logo, and then I have this purple one with the new logo.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, I'm styling.
Well, Pocket Dave's wearing the deluxe 3D
Nice.
Night Thoughts podcast.
Good
so,
job, PD.
You know,
All right.
yeah, he's doing it.
Okay.
He's got it.
I still
Hey,
actually.
a little-
I have a couple
I'm
more.
sorry.
I was just gonna say I have a couple more Pocket Dave pictures I need to post. I forget. I got to do that.
Awesome. And I have to start putting Pocket Dave in my house so my wife can find Pocket Dave.
Yes. You haven't put it on the pillow yet?
I'm thinking the best first place to put Pocket Dave is in the medicine cabinet in the bathroom.
Nice.
You know, standing tall next to the shave cream.
There you go. Hands on the hips.
Hands
Yeah.
on the hips.
All business.
Ready to shave.
That's right. That sounds good. Let me know how that plays out.
Yeah, I should also mention that I noticed something new today. You can look at something day after day, year after year, and just miss something totally obvious.
Yeah.
And I have my two little prints of the Candio monitor mixes covers.
Yeah.
And it finally dawned on me, hey, there's a date on these
Yeah.
of 2/27/79 when they were recorded.
Yeah.
Never brought it up before, never noticed it before
Ah.
until tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Did you get your copy that I sent you?
I was just gonna say thank you so much for sending it and sending the little covers. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
get into it. It's a shame you don't have that on CD.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame, hint, hint, Rhino, that we don't have that officially released.
Yes. Yes, that's very true. Hint, hint. John Hughes, who
Yes, John Hughes.
who I'm sure is listening.
I'm sure because they have to listen to us.
They're monitoring to watch for copyright breaches and other things.
Exactly.
So
Exactly
see,
right.
We walk a
Exactly
fine line,
right.
people.
We do. We do walk a fine line.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's get to the business.
Let's hear it.
We are all about the bit do now in business.
Yes, we
All
are.
about the bit do. We are total bit do. We're bit doers.
We are. Bit do, bit done.
3 ways to get your Night Thoughts podcast, people. You might be listening on YouTube right now. Well, you can find that by going to bit.do/Night Thoughts. And by the way, while you're there, hit subscribe. You might be listening to us on SoundCloud, which is bit.do/SoundCloud Night Thoughts. Or you might be listening to us on iTunes. which is bit.do/iTunes Night Thoughts. And by the way, if you listen to us on on iTunes, rate us and write a review.
Please.
Right now we only have one.
And it's a good one.
It's a great one. It's great. We need more than one though, folks. And see what the ratings do. The more a podcast is rated or whatever, the more it will show up. As people search. There may be some casual 80s fan out there in iTunes land who's looking for a great podcast about some 80s music, and boom, we would pop up if we have enough reviews and so forth.
Nice.
Plus, if you really hate us, you can give us a negative review. What the heck? I don't care. If it's your true feelings, go for it.
Yeah. It'll just generate some controversy and make more people want to listen and find out just how big of a jerk is Mr. Steelwool.
Exactly.
How much do they actually cuss on that show?
How much do they?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And actually, they might want to find out who's the one who's actually doing the cussing. I saw a comment this week where someone accused me of having a potty mouth.
No.
That was weird.
Seriously?
Yeah. Someone actually warned someone else's child against me.
Oh. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you see what I did there?
I was doing the disclaimer for Rue.
Yes.
I don't think you'd let a kid listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
And I turned it around on you. What the heck?
Yes, you did.
Facebook shenanigans.
Yeah.
Which is, speaking of Facebook, you can find the Night Thoughts Facebook page by going to bit.do FB Night Thoughts. How about that one?
All about the bit.do.
We are about the bit.do.
Nice.
You want some merch?
Ooh.
You can find Night Thoughts merch at bit.do /Night Thoughts merch.
No.
We're all about the bit.do. Oh, yeah.
And what about Roy Thomas Baker? Did you do a bit.do for RTB? Do it. If you want to find RTB on Twitter, go to bit.do/Twitter/RTB.
We'll have to work on that, I think. Yeah.
Do it.
All right. And hey, send us an email. Right now, the only people sending us email are Elizabeth.
Yep.
God bless her, from across the pond, and fictional people. That's it. So send us an email. nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. I might even do that.
Ooh, yeah. Bit.do it.
Bit.do email address, but
yeah.
Maybe I'll change our email address to bit.do. I don't know. And hey, I'm still giving a shout out to our buddy Chris Morris with all his car stuff.
Yep.
He just put up phone cases, which are cool. If I didn't have my handy dandy Star Wars OtterBox case, I'd be all over those cars' phone cases.
They're really cool looking, aren't they?
Yeah, really good. So you can find all Chris's stuff, posters, totes, shirts. The shirts are awesome, by the way. Mm-hmm. ChrisMorrisIllustration.com. Go there.
Nice.
Check it out.
My 15-year-old daughter actually tried to use a Chris Morris illustration as a bribe. She said, because we don't let our kids have phones until they're old enough to sign the contract themselves. And so she's always trying to convince me that she needs her own phone. And so when I was telling her, Chris made these phone case things, she's like, if you let me get my own phone, I'll put a car's case on it. So I'll put one of those Chris Morris cases on it. I was like, no, sorry, Charlie. Mm-hmm. But it was a good try.
You know what? Phones are, I've said it many times, I would love to go back to my little itty-bitty flip phone that I had originally before the smartphone craze or whatever, because people are so addicted to them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, today, in my school, there's a lot of middle school kids that come by and sit on the steps to pick up their little brothers and sisters. And there's a girl there who went to our school when she was a youngling, and she's sitting there looking at her phone. And I said, "Hey, let me have your phone." Why? I said, I just want to see something. Just I won't look at your phone. I just want to try something." She hands me her phone, and I go, "You tell me when you feel the urge to have it back." And she sat there for a second. I said, "Feel it yet?" "No." And then finally she went, "Okay, I want it back." 15 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
15 freaking seconds. But I mean, it's not just kids; it's adults too.
Oh yeah.
It drives me nuts, especially if you're out at a restaurant.
Yes.
And you see people sitting, and like there'd be like 4 people, and all of them got their faces in their phones. It's
yes.
like, put it down, people. Put it down.
Totally agree.
People forgot how to be bored.
Yes.
They forgot how to count ceiling tiles. Things like that.
It's hard because, you want to stay in touch with people when there's a lot of, especially, because I find that sometimes. So I have to drive an hour one way to get to town. And so when I go to town, when we go into the big city, we have a ton of errands to do, and we stay there. It's kind of an all-day thing almost anymore. And so, there are times, and I try really hard, because usually I'm with either one of my kids or more, and I usually try really hard to just stay off, because it's kind of special time. It's one-on-one. We're away from home, and listen to music and talk and do whatever. And so sometimes it's hard for me not to check in, and sometimes I do check in. I'll say to my daughter Lizzie, okay, she's trying on clothes or whatever, and I'll just say, okay, I'm going to just check my phone really quick. But I do try to always be mindful of that, and I usually always will not really ask permission in that sense, but you know what I mean, where I'll just, out of respect for whoever I'm with, just say, I'm just going to check this really quick. And it's tough. I think it's tough.
Exactly. Which
is one of the reasons why I don't want my kids to have them, is because I know it's tough, and why have that temptation, or why have that, you know what I mean? They don't need it.
It's crazy ridiculous.
So we do have those little flip phones. We have a couple of those, because, as soon as
I'd
we
love to go back to that.
Oh, yeah. Well, because once they started driving, we want them to have something for emergencies, but that's all it is those little cheapy track phones, and they work just fine. They do the trick.
I think when I retire, I'm totally going Jitterbug.
Jitterbug? What does that mean?
Don't you know what a Jitterbug is?
Uh-uh.
Jitterbug is the phone for really old people. It's a flip phone, and it's got numbers that are huge. And that's all it does. It's just a phone. Great big huge ass numbers on it.
I'll have to look one of those up.
I mean, I think it has one button for 911. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going Jitterbug.
Nice.
Yeah. Jitterbug.
Sounds good.
All right.
bit.do/Jitterbug.
Bit.do. Yeah, you got it. All right. So we've got some news to cover here.
Yes.
First off, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on HBO tomorrow night,
yes.
May 5th. We're recording this on May 4th, obviously. May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
I've got my connection set up. I've got my HBO all streamed up and ready. And actually, I've been watching Westworld, which is really a cool show. Mm. But here's the word that I've caught on the show.
Okay.
That HBO has edited the ceremony to have Bon Jovi go last.
Yes, I saw something about that. What is that?
WTF.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, doesn't that give like a false sense of importance?
Yeah, because...
In a sense?
Well, I just don't... I need to know the thinking. I need to know what went on behind the scenes. Why did they open the show in the first place? Because all the hype and all the big Bon Jovi stuff, you would have assumed that they would have gone, if not last, definitely toward the end. But they opened the show, and then they left. And now they're going to air it as if they closed?
Yeah, and since they weren't there for the other acts, it's going to make it look like they showed up late.
Yeah.
Because now it's backwards. But, I mean, my thought on it was they had the Moody Blues go last for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that respect factor. They were...
Yes.
They were the oldest, band.
They waited the longest.
They waited the longest, and it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
I would be, I think, equally as ticked if they rearranged it around so that the Cars were last, because that's not the way it went.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's my thing. I'm very, literal. I'm a recipe follower. If it went this way, then air it that way, broadcast it that way. Stick to the facts.
And then the other thing that I saw is that they edited out cut moving in stereo.
Yeah.
Which I understand was the bomb. It was the best.
It was
cool.
Amazing. Yes. And then they're going to leave in all of the Nina Simone stuff? Really?
No.
Are you sure? That's what it looked like to me.
Maybe it was a Sister Rosetta song that they cut.
Well,
one of the ladies.
Well,
they cut one.
Maybe it was one, but I think Nina Simone had 6 and Rosetta Tharpe had 2, so I don't think it was Sister Rosetta Tharpe. But, well, okay, so cut one out, I guess, but you could really pare that down because the Nina Simone segment was quite lengthy. I wonder what they'll do with the brother and his long speech. I'm sure he's...
According to HBO, he never showed.
No.
No. I have no idea what they'll do.
Talk about rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll do some creative cutting on that one.
The thing about it is that as far as I know, I don't think the Rock Hall and or HBO have ever offered a DVD of the specific year's induction. I mean, you can find them on streaming. Like, I have Amazon Prime. You can watch the 2016 and the 2017.
Oh, okay.
None of the other years are available. But I don't think they've ever put out DVDs. And hey, HBO, if you're listening, there's a lot of Cars fans who'd buy your DVD.
Heck yeah. I was at the ceremony. I would buy the DVD.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So
let me ask you. So, again, I just know I'm revealing more and more about the podunk area that I live in, but we don't have cable at our house. That's by choice. I mean, we don't get any cable channels, and so how can I get? I don't want to subscribe to HBO for any kind of long-term thing or Sirius. I understand it's gonna be on Sirius XM now. How can I get access to it? Do you know? Is there can I just buy that one show?
What you can do is what you could do is though. See, I got it through Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And, obviously I do Amazon Prime to get the 2-day shipping. Okay. So, as a part of Amazon Prime, you get video streaming free, a lot of free stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
If you go to that part of the Amazon website, you'll see that you can add subscriptions to your Amazon. HBO is one of them.
Okay.
And you can do a 30-day free trial.
Ah.
So there you go.
Oh, sweet beans, baby.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So, and I added HBO on my Amazon Prime, but, in my household, we're planning on knocking off the cable and going streaming services.
Okay.
Whenever we get the TV to do it. But,
okay.
So I've got a long-range plan to my short-range plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, good. That's good to know. I've been trying to figure that out because I really want to watch it.
Yeah. On to more solemn news.
Yes.
People, and it's funny because people are still finding out about this. I just got a message from somebody today. Hey, did you hear?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But anyway, people know that Paulina Porizkova posted on her Instagram that her and Rick have actually been separated for a year.
Yes.
And I think I'm gonna go ahead and read it because I really like the way she words it. I think it's very, very classy the way she does it.
I agree. Go ahead.
She posted, "Our family has always been and still is a well-built car. When the 4 of us are together, we can go wherever the road takes us. But as a bicycle, my husband and I no longer pedal in unison, so we're ditching the bicycle. Rick and I have been peacefully separated for the past year. The photos of our happy family are, in fact, happy family photos. We're just no longer a couple. The love we have for one another is so wide and deep it's practically tangible, and that sort of love can never disappear. Expect to keep seeing happy family photos. As I'm sure you can understand, out of respect for our children and each other, we'll not be commenting further here or elsewhere at this time." So, pretty simple thing.
Yeah. It's actually quite beautiful the way that she wrote that.
Yes. And first thing that popped in my mind was, if you don't need, or if you need proof of people having love for one another, even though they've grown apart or whatever the situation is. I mean, that's their business. Her being at the Rock Hall is proof right there.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
and her countenance and the way that they were with each other. I think we said that on the last show, maybe, that they just seemed so in love with each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I mentioned on Facebook, I mean, this one threw me for a loop. I know a lot of it is my fandom, but then again, I also have a deep respect for Paulina and following her on Twitter, and she just major intelligent and assertive, and she just calls it like it is, and I really love that about her. But I'm very jaded when it comes to celebrity couples, because I think a lot of those people have no clue what a relationship is because they don't live in our world. They live in a different. But Rick and Paulina's, it was a different animal, from a different time, and it was really cool to see, a couple, go that long,
Yeah.
And so this was like, whoa. But you know what? I mean, they are human beings just like us, and the same problems that we face are problems that they face, and so forth. But still, it just kind of threw me for a loop. Personally, I'm not a big celebrity guy. It's kind of like when Carrie Fisher passed away. That threw me for a loop just because of my fandom. I don't hook on to many celebrities and think, oh my God, they're a god, that kind of thing. I just, but this one kind of threw me for a loop. So
yeah,
the kicker on this thing is, and I posted this on our Facebook page, is that you've got these dumbasses who have to make some kind of comment, and it's. And I mean, it's right there in the last paragraph. I'm sure you can understand, out of respect for our children and for each other, we'll not be commenting further at this time.
Right.
Somebody's got to make a freaking comment. Somebody's got to think, oh, this is, I got to make a joke. And you got these two yahoos who had to post stupid dumbass puns. One was about drive. Oh, I wonder who's going to drive her home tonight. And the other one I can't remember, but I blocked them. And so then I post on our Facebook page, hey, this is, these guys are just blocked just for their, lame-ass comments alone. I blocked them.
Right.
And within that thread today, just tonight, somebody on the Night Thoughts page made some crack about since you're gone. And I'm like, dude, you're gone. I mean... not only do you do it in the thread I'm talking about, don't do it.
Right.
You're gone. Get out of here. Yeah, I'll tell you since you're gone, you're gone. You're gone, right. Pal.
Nights are getting strange, buddy. You're out.
Oh, your nights are getting strange. It's just weird. But, I don't know. I don't understand why as a society that we expect celebrities to air their dirty laundry just because they're celebrities.
I was totally thinking that. I was thinking, I wonder why she felt compelled to make an announcement. But I mean, I guess... Well,
because some media would blow it up first.
Yeah.
I mean, they're forced to. But, I mean, as normal folk, we don't have to do that.
Right.
I don't have to post all my family secrets,
right.
God forbid. No one expects me to do that. Why should we expect artists and actors and models and, et cetera, to do the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just true. Don't. Probably the only place where that kind of, and I don't know if people would think this is hypocritical or not, but politics. Somebody who's running the country, I think there's certain things that we need to be aware of because it's a character thing.
Right.
We're giving them leadership and that kind of thing. But
we're putting them in a position of authority and leadership over our well-being. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and it just blows my mind. And And it's amazing how many media outlets picked up on Paulina's Instagram post, and then they run news articles, and it's just her post.
Right. Right.
They don't have anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, I wish them the best, and I am without a doubt know that they will continue to be a happy family, even though not a couple.
Yeah, I definitely believe her. I mean, I believe her words, and you're right. It was quite a blow, and I wish them the best too. My heart goes out to them.
All right, so let's talk about this episode.
Okay, this is going to be
weird.
Episode
29. We're talking about Fanorama Cars Con.
2000 XX, whatever year that might happen.
Yeah. My God, it took us a long time to name this. Fanorama Cars Con.
Yeah, well, you didn't like Misfit Kid Con.
I didn't like Misfit Kid Con. It sounds like a con for misfits.
Well,
I don't know.
Isn't it? Aren't we all?
I think it's just got to have cars in there. Cars Con.
Yeah,
it started out with Cars Con, but then I thought, you know what? I don't want Motorheads. You don't want Motorheads coming to the Cars Con. Do you know how many automotive groups follow my Twitter? It's like North Oklahoma Car Club. Yo, that kind of thing. Do you understand what my page is? Yeah. So it had to be Fanorama Cars Con so people can identify.
Yeah.
But what we're intending to do in this episode is know people. We don't have a cars convention planned and ready to go with a date and so forth.
Right.
What Donna and I are attempting to do is to kind of flesh out, talk about, have a conversation about what it would take to have a kick-ass Fanorama Cars Con that is done right. And this comes from people in the Fanorama who've started, kicking around the idea of having a meetup. And so, I just said, hey, let's just make a podcast episode about it, and let's talk about all the different aspects of doing such a thing. I don't know if we'll ever get to that point. It's been kicked around for 20 or more years in different formats on social media. It's never been done. So, let's just see what it would take to do.
All right. Well, and I have a disclaimer. The only con that I've been to is like for grocery stores because my husband manages a grocery store, and so we've gone to the expo with all the new products and all the in this huge.
You're going to the mini wheat panel.
A little bit. I mean, there was an M&M's watch. It was really cool. There's M&M. Yeah, it was different. And so I don't know about this kind of thing. I got no idea. I mean, I thought stuff through. I looked up some of the other rock band expo kinds of things, and I'll go oh yeah, okay, I kind of get on board with this, but this is going to be a far cry from Windex and the latest in scanners for the grocery store. So yeah. Well, I think you're talking more of an expo. When I say Fanorama Cars Con, I'm liking it to like Comic-Con, where you have a fandom. Because I'm sorry, nobody's a fan of grocery stores, Donna. So it doesn't really. Hey. You know what? If
when's the last time you saw somebody wearing a Windex shirt?
When was the last time you saw a grocery store never have any customers? I mean, I'm telling you, people need to eat. So everyone's a fan of grocery stores, Dave. Do not go there. But that's what I'm saying. I've never been to Comic-Con. I've never been to. So this is my closest thing I can even think of experiencing was either the boat show or the grocery store expo. So that's my background. That's where I'm coming from, Dave.
sports teams will have their winter or off-season conventions, and like they have Cardinals Con for the St. Louis Cardinals. And essentially what you have is it's usually in one place. Well, in the case of sports teams, it's usually in the town where the sports team is.
All right.
Sometimes they move around to different areas. Essentially you have it can be a one-night thing where you have guests and a panel. You have merchandising, so forth and so on. And it's the same way with rock bands who've done it, like Kiss, I think is a big one, where they have Kiss Con, and first of all, you got merchandising out the wazoo.
Yes.
But they have people connected with the band as guests and those kind of things. So.
Yeah, and you did give me an outline, so that was I think I love the Cars, so I'm sure I have some ideas of if but I just I'm not necessarily familiar with the format. Have not really been in that environment much. So we'll see how it goes.
So as we talk about this, we're not concerned with the money that it would take to start it up, or the time that it would to take to do it, and the connections we would need to do it. We're just talking about what would we have to do to do it.
Okay.
If you and I were in charge of it.
Okay.
So first off, we're talking location.
Okay.
Where would a Fanorama Cars Con take place?
Boston.
You think Boston?
That's what I vote
Why?
for. Well, because it's where they got their start, because there's a lot of Cars history there in Boston. I mean, as a band,
Okay.
There's locations
I'll go
there
with
where they played. I mean, if you think back to just from the very beginning, that's where the record executives went to find them. That's where the Roy Thomas Baker went to hear them. That's where, that's where they got where they put in their time and got their start.
Okay. So, and just playing devil's advocate, I know in the group of people who were talking about it on Facebook, they were talking New York as a place.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if just because that's just a great hub for people to go to, but you also have people talking about, well, let's try some place that's centrally located in the United States, which I don't know what the exact center of the United States is.
I don't either.
Somewhere in Missouri, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
But Cleveland obviously comes to mind.
Yes.
That would be my personal choice, and that's just based on the fact of, one, they are now in the Rock Hall.
Right.
So you've got that aspect of it, but probably bigger than that is the historical Benjamin Orr Trail that that you obviously did. You were in Cleveland,
right?
And you've got some Rick connection there too.
Yep.
So you've got those things. I don't know. I don't think it would matter much, where it is, as long as you've got things in that town that people can take interest in. Like, for example, with Boston, you've got Synchro Sound people could visit. Mm-hmm. There is the Rat. Yeah, the Rat's in Boston.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You got that. I think people who are talking about New York, just the fact they could walk on the street and possibly see Rick walking down to get a deli sandwich.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Poor Rick. You've got all these people in town for the Panorama Cars Con. He's just going down. He's hungry. He wants a hoagie.
Yeah. Well, because he's not on social media, so he's got no idea this whole convention's going on.
He has no idea it's going on. He's just going down to get a little grub.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this mass of people surround him, holding CDs and Sharpies.
Going, no way, dude! No way!
Wait, it's Rick. Oh,
What was his middle name again? Theodore? It's Ted! It's
Theodore.
Ted O'Kasich!
Eddie! Eddie!
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I was thinking of in New York, isn't that where Max's Kansas City is? Captain Swing went to perform for some record executives, and I thought it was, I know it was at Max's Kansas City, and I was thinking that was in New York, and they got, some good feedback and went home and revamped and became the Cars. So that's in New York, I think.
So maybe, as far as location goes, Boston, Cleveland. I don't know of any other place besides those two. And I guess I'll say New York too, just because it's a hub for people to meet into as possible locations.
Lebanon, Kansas is the geographic center of the United States, so you can put that on the list.
Lebanon, Kansas.
Kansas.
I think I've been through there. I don't think Lebanon can handle us. But yeah, so there you go. Lebanon, Kansas, at the center of the United States. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got our location. We know we're going to have a convention in whatever place that we pick. Then we have to think about sponsors. I mean, you're not going to pull something like this off as a fan group without having some sponsorship. Otherwise, the cost of the convention, all those hidden things, is going to go solely on the people who are attending the convention, and that's going to make prices very unreasonable, I would figure.
Okay.
So you're looking at some kind of sponsorship, some entity that's going to put obviously some money into this fan event and expects to get something out of it, which could also lead to the merchandising aspect and so forth. But for example, Rhino. Right. What if Rhino said, "Hey, we like this idea of a Fanorama Cars Con. We'll do this." Or maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame might do it, knowing that if you had it in Cleveland, that they're going to have a crap load of people coming into the Rock Hall on that particular weekend. I don't think Cars Management would ever do anything, although they did spring for $10,000 seats for Greg Hawkes.
Well, there you go.
At the Rock Hall, so who knows? Jeff, call me, baby.
Yeah. I'm kind of at a loss. If we did it in Boston, would the Boston Globe have any
WBCN?
BBCN?
No, WBCN.
Oh, WBCN. So the different media outlets, which, because one of the things I was thinking, we'll get into what they would actually have there at a convention, but they've got archives, they've got stuff they can sell.
Yeah.
I think, and we'll talk about that, but go ahead.
I think seriously, I think the first major possible sponsor I would contact would be Rhino Records.
Absolutely, number one.
And I'd say, hey, look, we got people, we're going to do this. Do you want a part of it? Do you want to put your Rhino logo all over everything to do with the Fanorama Cars Con?
Yeah.
Boom, there you go.
I'm sure that Lust for Kicks cereal would step in. They're a big sponsor.
How about Shake It Up Soda?
Shake It Up, and Orangey Sky Soda. I'm sure put out by the same.
Soda.
The same.
I think so.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
Double Life accessories with their robot purses and their drip dry gloves.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Yeah, and
all kinds of
nuclear boots. I can't think of the lyrics right now. Dang it. There could have been a better delivery there. I just didn't think it through.
Yeah. But I wonder how, with the KissCon, who somebody has to put some money towards that for that to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody has to. I guess the way to go about it is to contact these people who are in charge of these rock and roll conventions and just, see exactly how they go about doing it.
Right.
Somebody had to put up the money somewhere.
Right.
Who
Well,
knows?
would you need like a promoter or like just like a Ticketmaster thing? I mean, if you want this to be, I mean, are we thinking it's something that we would advertise nationwide, or is this just on our social media thing?
Oh, I think it's something you'd want to advertise nationwide.
Yeah. Worldwide, really.
But would we get? I think most people we get would be through social media.
Right.
The thing about it is the other thing with sponsors of it. When you have these conventions, especially if you have them in a hotel somewhere, you've got event planners who work for the hotels. The hotels may be putting money into it because they know that they're going to be getting lots of people staying at their hotel, eating in their restaurant, those kinds of things. But then again, I mean, you look at it this way: if you're having it at a hotel, there's going to have to be money put up front to rent, the ballroom, or to rent merchant space and things like that.
Right.
So it has to come from somewhere. Nobody's doing it for free.
Right.
And they've got to make a buck. They've got to be able to make a buck from it somehow.
Yeah. Well, and is this what you're kind of alluding to? I mean, there must be, like you said, there must be companies that's what they do, is they put on conventions. And
yes.
This is all of the elements that go into this, and and then they have the contacts. They know how to get it set up, and
yeah.
But they're going to be costly.
I would assume.
I would think
quite
so.
Costly.
Yeah.
As far as guess, you have to have a reason for people to come to a convention. I mean, it's nice to get together with people.
Right.
It's nice to think about going to a convention where there's going to be some merchandising going on, or picking up, or seeing some things that you wouldn't normally see. And always a big draw is having some kind of guest. Like at Comic Con, they always have, the stars of whatever show, or a star from whatever movie. Even if it's, I mean, I've even seen one where it's like, some actor that is just a minor part, and people will come to see, that actor for autographs, or they're doing a panel or whatever.
Right.
So as far as guests go, thinking realistically, who we get, it's a toss-up between Greg Hawkes and Enrico Kazik.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, thinking about it, one, Rick's not going to do it. I don't see him. I wouldn't see him doing such a thing. Elliott possibly. David, no way. And then, so I think that pretty much, leaves Greg and Elliott, and you're definitely looking at, and this would be with any guest, not just Greg and Elliott, but, paying their way there.
Right.
Paying for their lodging.
Right.
And honestly, I don't think you could even nowadays get away with it without, selling autograph tickets, which they do at other conventions, or the meet and greet VIP treatment.
Right,
people
packages.
paying for that,
Yeah.
and having that kind of thing. I mean, it's things that might have been a free thing where you flew in William Shatner back in the 70s and put him up at the hotel, and he just did it for free. Those days are long gone. It's bringing them in, putting them up, probably feeding them, and then plus you got the meet and greet packages where they're making some money off of their time.
Right. Which, I mean, yeah. I mean, I was thinking of it more just like as in, I was thinking of it not realistically. What would I want? Obviously, I would want all four of them to be there. Obviously, I would want Roy Thomas Baker to be there.
Yes, Roy.
Man, wouldn't that just be awesome? Yeah.
But I mean, realistically though, Greg and or Elliott, I think it would be the extent of our guests.
We could maybe convince RTB and Elliott to come together. They both live in California.
Yeah.
We can buddy them up. We can pair them up. Is that an incentive? I know. You
So
and your
how are you
old
going to
pal.
get us there? Hey, we're renting you to a car. It's going to be a buddy trip across the country.
That sounds lovely. Absolutely lovely. What say, EE? Shall we do it? It'll be just like the old days.
We'll set them up with like a 2007 Kia Hyundai.
How many miles to Boston?
Yeah. Just take them like a week to get there, Have all kinds of misadventures. It'd be all right.
Oh my goodness. Yes. What? Okay, so guess maybe likely I think likely Greg would do it. Maybe Elliott, maybe RTB.
But if you don't go that big, think about getting. I mean, you're talking about RTB with a producer or whatever, someone who maybe is not as well known who worked with the Cars.
Yeah.
Their tour manager.
Yeah. Engineers, mixing, people from the studios, photographers. Yeah. I just read today Joe Milliken's article on Janet McCoska, and her journey just to getting to be a rock photographer was really awesome. But, you think about people like Yvette Roberts and Paul McAlpine. I mean, these guys have probably got stories to tell and great photos still to show, and I would go to see them. Yeah,
it would be awesome to have, someone like them speak, have a slideshow running behind them, talking about the situations with these pictures or some of these iconic pictures.
Yes.
There's stories behind those.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the stories behind the panorama shadow photos.
Yes.
That Paul McAlpine did.
Yes.
It'd be really cool.
Well, and just, banging around in the streets with the Cars in 1978, Yvette Roberts, when she's taking these pictures of, Benjamin goofing off and the jogger running in front of them, and that whole photo session. I mean, that looked like that had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And if you did a Q&A kind of setup, that'd be really neat too.
We just might end up having we'd have Glenda Rutherford. Glenda Rutherford was Rick's neighbor in Baltimore. She lived across the street from little Ricky Ott Kasich.
And she's actually the one who got him to eat meatloaf for the first time.
She did.
And spawned a lifelong love of the...
Tell us something about Rick, Glenda. I remember he would always put out the trash on a Tuesday.
Oh, that little Ricky, he was always such a smart aleck with his weird words. He was always saying strange sentences we never understood what he was talking about. We would just give him a...
Confusion into a virtue? What the hell does that mean anyway?
Exactly. Take your popsicle and go, kid.
I tell him, get out of my damn yard. He tell me he turns confusion into a virtue.
Liquid whispers? Dragonflies? What?
Get out of here.
Beat it, punk. I'm going to tell your grandma. See her at the Bridge Club on Tuesday. She's going to get an earful.
There you go. And people would eat that up. And as she ends, make sure and visit my merch table. Got Glenda shirts going on. Just a picture of her pointing.
Yeah.
With a makeup on her face.
Her finger. Oh, my goodness. See, it could happen.
There we go.
It
Yeah, it
works.
could happen. The other thing I was thinking, though, you've got a lot of good cover bands out there.
Yes, yes.
Like Moving in Stereo was in Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
could get Moving in Stereo. You could get Drive.
Yeah. You could, yeah.
Which, by the way, reminds me, I gotta get in touch with the Colorado Drive guys since I'm going to Colorado in
Alan,
June.
yeah. Yes.
I mean, that hit me just the other day. I'm going to Colorado, so
Yeah,
maybe
message him.
I can't remember if they're in the Denver area or what the deal is, but I'd like to meet up with them.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, and that would be cool to have one of those bands, as an activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do during the convention time.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like in Cleveland.
I have that on my list of that would just be awesome. There's the Drive Colorado band, there's the Drive the Cars tribute that Mary Beth is a part of. There's Moving in Stereo. And oh my gosh, Moving in Stereo was so good. They were so good. They would definitely have to play there.
I'm not going to say the name of the band, but I'd want to have those guys that are really, really into the goofy costuming. Why not?
Just for kicks. I know. Hey, it's the Cars.
Why not?
It's a Fanorama Cars Con.
I've got a weakness for the guy who's playing Benjamin.
I know. That's exactly who I picture.
With the bad wig.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Why the wig, dude? Why?
I know, I know.
Do you want us to go, oh my gosh, it's just like Benjamin
I
Orr.
know. If I take my glasses off, it's like it's him. Yeah.
But,
I know. But, God bless
bless
them.
their heart.
Exactly. Yep. They're out there making it happen.
It's so weird, though, to have, I mean, it's one thing to have, maybe the lead singer, dress up, whatever. But when you have the whole band thing going on, and they're like, yeah, I'm in, this band, I'm in the band Since You're Gone. And what do you play? I play the part of Elliott Easton.
Right. Instead of I'm the guitarist.
Yeah. Instead of I'm the lead guitar, I'm playing the part of Elliott Easton.
But
so,
then,
I know all of his parts. Even though I'm right-handed, I got myself a bad wig. I wear the pants that are too tight. I
got the guitar strap.
Yeah.
But then, you have a band like Mary Beth's band, the Drive the Cars tribute, and she kind of has the Rick look. I mean, she's purposeful about that. And when Richard Hanoski, is that how you pronounce his name? He was in that band, and he kind of has the Benjamin look. Like that's fine.
Look.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it works if you're not. There's a point where you're sort of trying too hard, and then it just becomes kind of just on the silly side as opposed to.
That's the guys I want. But I mean, you can't be afraid to mix it up.
Not at all. Oh, yeah.
In other words, if you got the guy who's playing the part of Benjamin Orr, okay, he doesn't have to sing Drive if he can't sing.
Right. Right. Well, and you know what? And truly, who knows? I have not heard them play. They could be fabulous musicians. They could nail it. I don't know. I have not heard them. Have you heard them?
Yes.
Oh. Are we moving on?
We're moving on. But
okay.
Can I want to put a plug in for for Mary Beth's band Drive.
Please do.
I cannot remember his name now, but he's their new guitarist.
Oh, okay.
Blonde-haired guy. Guy's awesome. Got a great voice.
Good, very good.
They put out new video when he joined the band, and him singing a few songs. Guy's really good.
Good, good. Yeah, I saw that video. I didn't watch the video. I saw that it was posted, and I just didn't have time to click, and I forgot to go back. So I'm going to actually make a note. I wonder if we can share that in our group.
If I can find it, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Good.
Okay, so what other activities would you like in Boston?
Well,
if it was in Boston, what would you, as a promoter of this convention, what are some activities that you would have for your conventioneers?
Okay, well, hang on. Before that, another thing that we were talking about the tribute band and that kind of thing. Something that I think should happen is David Juskow should do showings of his movie.
Oh, holy crap! Yes.
Right? And you could even do like before the movie shows, you can have a Q&A with him, or he can do, like an interview on stage with him and talk about all that, and then show the movie. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I want to see that movie so bad, and
What's it called again? Tell me what it's called again.
Turbocharged.
Turbocharged, that's right.
The unauthorized biography of the Cars.
Wouldn't that be terrific?
I brought it up to him not too long ago, and he just kind of, I don't think he plans on doing anything with it. Now's the time to strike, and I wish there was something that would put him over the edge to at least release it digitally.
Yes.
If anything, just post it on YouTube for free.
Right.
I mean, it's just sitting there in the can. What good is it doing?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who want to see it. But that would be awesome.
Or how hard is it to
do a screening? How
hard is it to put on iTunes, or not iTunes, maybe somewhere for like a 99-cent?
Yeah. 99-cent rental. You're going to get a few bucks out of it there, but yeah.
I mean, if he wants to make something off of it, people will pay for it. And you're right. This is the year to do it. We need to invite him to come on our podcast. Did you ever invite him?
No, he has his own podcast.
I know, but still, I'm going for it.
I don't. Have you listened to his podcast?
Yes.
Okay, so he's like me times 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you handle me and Dave Juicecow at the same time? I don't think so.
I might for a short period of time. Canned corn.
All right, really short podcast tonight, folks. We're going 15 minutes. We're going back to our Blog Talk Radio days. 15-minute podcast.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
It's going to be the business, and then the news, and then we'll have like 5 minutes to talk, and then it'll be over.
Well, oops, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We lost our guest.
But that is a great idea, Donna. Great idea.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
A screening of that.
Yeah, I would love to see that. So, okay, and now as far as Boston activities go in particular, I mean, I suppose you would have like similar to Cleveland, where you've got kind of the list of, the Ore Tour locations. I mean, you could have that kind of thing.
Our friend Jenny D would be a good person to pick her brain, since she's done that already.
Yeah. Yes.
Our fellow Fanoramians, if that would be a word.
I like that word.
From Boston, they know all the different places and so forth. I'd like to go to that, except that's in New York. I'd like to go to that coffee shop or whatever. That guy almost got into a fight with Rick Ocasek.
Oh, yeah. So that's a New York draw right there.
Yeah, that's a New York draw. This is the very same coffee shop. So-and-so guy almost got into a fist fight with Rick Ocasek.
He could be one of the guests. He could tell a story. You could do like reenactments. Who wants to come up and pretend? Okay, you be Rick, I'll be the guy. And then he pushed me like that, and I said, dude.
Yeah.
We could
have Harold play Rick. I think, isn't Harold pretty tall? Harold, you seem pretty tall to me in your pictures. I don't know if you're
not sure,
6 foot or more, but
we'll get him some
I think
stilts.
Harold should play Rick. Well, it's better than me playing Rick. I mean,
Yeah, except you
I'm
get
to
to play the other guy, because you can do the New York accent and you can be him.
Yeah. Okay.
You could have Danny Ayala from the Moving in Stereo. He's pretty tall. He could do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So see, we got our cast. If we were in New York, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Reenact the Rick fight.
Well, back to the Cleveland thing.
Oh yeah. Cleveland.
We got the Benjamin Historical Trail.
Oh yeah.
You've got a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
That attraction right there.
It's huge.
I think I would add that donut shop that had all the donuts.
Oh, the Candio.
Brunettes, yeah. That place is awesome.
Yeah.
But,
you've got the House of Blues.
Yeah, the House of Blues. And I'll tell you what would really be a cool activity. If you could convince one of our many Cars collectors to bring a portion of their collection and have it like in a gallery.
Yes.
Laid
yes.
out.
That
it'd be really cool to look through old clippings, to look at just some of the odd stuff that, if we could just if we can move our buddy John's house.
There you go. Or Craig.
It is. Yeah. And
Put
just
Craig's
move
bedroom in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what town Craig lives in. We could just have the convention in his town and then just have a little visit of Craig's house.
Could you imagine? Poor Craig. If it were me, and I'm just imagining that Craig might be this way, it would just be like, don't touch! Don't touch!
Yeah.
Back off!
Look with your eyes only.
That's right. Honor the ropes, people. Honor the ropes.
Yeah.
Do not go any further. That'd be me. Did somebody sneeze? Out. Out of the room.
Well, another part of a good activity are just people who have extras of things and doing, swap meet kinds of things.
Yeah.
And bringing stuff for people and trading. And that used to be a big thing back in the Frozen Fire days. People were always trading stuff.
Yeah.
If they had bootlegs of this or that, they would swap CDs. I did a lot of trading of buttons and things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, do you need the Panorama button? Yeah. Well, do you need this? But yeah, I got an extra. Let's, I'll trade you this for this.
Yeah. I think that still happens now. I just think it's all more behind the scenes. Because, people are, I find people to be very generous and in making copies of stuff and sharing, but it's just not up front in the groups that they have it, or that they're, I suppose if you said, oh, I've got I've got the Paradise audio from the Paradise concert from 1978, you'd get 300 requests for CDs.
Yeah.
It's a little overwhelming. But so, yeah, I think that people definitely do that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a cool thing. And then just as far as an activity, is just a get-together at a bar or whatever, and,
Oh, yeah. Is there a Hard Rock Cafe in Boston? I'm sure there is.
Probably.
Probably. Or that Verb Hotel. Remember, that's where those handwritten biographies are. That's at the Verb, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool.
One thing I was thinking of when I mentioned, like, the Boston Globe, and wouldn't it be cool if they did, like, you'd have to put some prep into this in advance, but it would be really neat to do, like, an archived scrapbook that you would publish for sale, but it would be all of these old articles printed kind of in a scrapbook form, but all of the, the reviews through the years, the articles that the cars appeared in, concert reviews, album reviews, their solo stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, you're not excited about that?
No, I am.
You're not. That's fine. I get it.
You may be my car's wife, but you're operating like a wife.
Oh,
Putting stuff into my head that's not there, lady.
Didn't mean to cross that line. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you didn't seem very enthusiastic because maybe you were tweeting something right now. Were you on Twitter?
I was taking video of Pocket Dave going in front of your profile picture again.
I'm sure
that's always funny.
I'm sure
popping
you
his
were.
head up. Yeah. So as far as merchants, we talked, if we had like a Rhino sponsorship, imagine Rhino having available, not that people wouldn't have it already, but maybe Rhino might have something special at that time. Maybe they might have Live at the Agora on CD or something at that time, but
right.
But you might have people who internationally who haven't had the opportunity to pick up some of these things, and the expanded editions and so forth and so on.
Right.
That they would be good. You could have someone like Chris Morris, who would have his things there, or any number of other
vendors.
Merchandisers, vendors who have things.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and of course you'd have a special, a shirt especially designed for that event. So you'd have T-shirts and magnets and whatever, because I'm sure that you would design a logo, right, to go with the weekend, and you could have that. You could have that on various things.
Which makes me wonder what the licensing aspect of it is. Could we have a Fanorama Cars Con without the permission of Cars management, or without the permission of Rhino?
Well, why wouldn't we? It's just people getting together to, you know what I mean? What copyright would that break? You'd have to be careful about logoing and things like that, but why not?
All the more reason for them to sponsor us.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Well, I do know something like this would take, I would say, bare minimum a year.
Oh yeah.
To plan.
Yeah.
And it starts with picking a location, not just a city, but a location in the city to do it.
Right.
And as I said before, hotels are your best bet because, one, they have the space, they have event planners, and you have a place for everybody to stay, and they love that because they give you discount rates.
Right.
On big groups. Places like the Rock Hall do the discount rate for large groups.
Right.
So you'd have to get all that set.
You'd have to choose a place that had, wouldn't you think, if you're going to do it over a weekend, places where they could set up for more than one day at a time. Mm-hmm. And so then you would want like a vendor's room or vendor's merchandise kind of area. You'd want a separate stage area, unless you were going to have, would you have, so let's say you're going to have Moving in Stereo perform, would that be at, such and such location where the Cars played once or whatever, someplace away from the hotel, or would you try to keep everything contained? I mean, you'd have to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It would depend on if the place that you had it at could accommodate them, and if not, then you'd look for some place that could accommodate them beyond that.
Right.
But it's obviously something that's a major undertaking with a lot of different people working together doing different things, and
right.
The only way to find out is just to kind of delve into it and see it. But the sticking point with me out of it all is that it's going to cost some money to get the thing going, and the average Fanorama schmo like myself, who doesn't have any money, it's not like, if I was very rich, I'd do it.
Steve Wozniak.
I'd do it for the Fanorama.
Yeah.
If I was Steve Wozniak, I'd say, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Boom, here's my money, and I don't expect to, if I break even, great. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
But, that's not me, so
maybe
I can't really do that.
Maybe we should call the Woz.
Call the Woz.
Maybe he's still got extra money he's willing to, he didn't maybe spend it all on the U.S. Fest. Maybe he's got a few extra bucks.
Maybe the Cars were his favorite part of the U.S. Fest.
Maybe they were. Maybe they were.
Might have a little soft spot in the old Woz.
We just might. Yes. Another phone call to add to my list.
Yeah. So what's your gut feeling? Do you think anything of this magnitude could ever take place?
Realistically, I don't see Rhino doing it. Not on this scale. I don't see it coming together this big. And when you talk about like merchandising and logos and things like that, I mean, according to what the gal at the Rock Hall gift shop told me, they couldn't get licensing, or they did not have licensing for Cars merchandise at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasons behind it. I don't know whose side it was on that it didn't happen, but looking at just in general, the Cars' lack of energy in promoting the Cars official, I guess I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lack of energy in promoting the band and taking advantage of different ways that they really could have boosted visibility of the Cars. I mean, I don't see them investing in it in any way, or being, you know what I mean? So without that kind of backing, it seems unlikely to me that something on this scale would happen. Of course, that's not ruling out, things we've already talked about, fans just meeting in a city, getting together to hang out, but I don't know how big it could get. What do you think?
Well, I think I tend to agree with you. I don't think Rhino or any other bigwig, entity would sponsor it.
Yeah.
it would be nice to have something as simple as having a place, which is why I feel so strongly for Cleveland, because there's so much to do with the cars there than there is in Boston or New York. Just based on the Rock Hall and the Benjamin Orr stuff. But just to call up a hotel and say, this specific weekend, we want to have a fan base come together and meet, and whatever happens, and to do something small scale like that.
Yeah.
No merchants, no guests, possibly getting a cover band to play, if their promoter could do it.
Yeah.
And just having people get together and,
Yeah, because Moving in Stereo is Cleveland-based. They could totally do it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's in my. I would love to do that, and all this talk was brought about by, people sharing their stories of meeting up with other fans in Cleveland.
Right.
And the thing about that is, they say, well, that was a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, they're only getting inducted one year, but that could be a great meeting place for the Fanorama to get together every year and relive that, and to have some of those, same kind of activities that they could have done and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could totally be done on a small scale, without any money coming from any one person.
Yeah.
I could call up a hotel in Cleveland and say, hey, what can you offer? Let's say a group of 100 people.
Right.
As far as a rate for the weekend, and for us to get together, and then I call up the Rock Hall and get a group rate and say, okay, on this specific day you're going to this, and then telling people this is what's going to cost you.
Right.
Yeah.
Send
your money in, get your reservations, that kind of stuff. It's going to be this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. And I, just thinking about, I would totally do it again.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm not over that experience. And there are a lot of things I didn't get to do that I would want to do. I definitely feel like even if people have already gone to Cleveland for the there's still plenty of draw to come back. And again, just to meet everybody. There was not nearly enough time to get to hang out with people from the Fanorama that we've chatted with online for years. Just what a treat.
Our ace in the hole is, though, even at bare minimum, what we're talking about, we always have a podcast we can record while we're there.
Yeah.
Do a live podcast, record it. There you go.
That'd be
it's
so fun.
doable.
It is.
Yeah. So, we do have that.
Yes. I agree. I totally agree. We could record live from the Rock Hall itself.
Yeah. They set people up to do that. So
they do.
That would be cool. And obviously if you have a hotel and with the whole thing, you could do it at a hotel. They give you a room, have people come, you do your little live podcast.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if we did a live podcast, we might have to do some editing, but I would play the shit out of some Cars music.
Heck yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say, I'm thinking of some of the people, I'm thinking of some of the people we might have to edit, but boy, it'd be fun to have record conversations with some of these people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and just think, it's very cool when you have people there with you to have them as guests on a podcast.
Yeah.
They're there. You don't have to deal with the Skype and getting schedules and time zones, because you're all in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, how fun that would be.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And the best thing about it is you could see exactly how many times I roll my eyes at you.
And vice versa.
Really? This is why we should Skype with the cameras, Donna. Just saying.
Maybe we should try it one of these times.
We should try it once. We should try it once, because I'm telling you, I think with facial expressions, There might be a lot more giggling on these podcasts.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if people could handle it. Well, maybe this summer. We'll put that on the bucket list.
Let's do that. Let's do that this summer. Let's record once with the cameras on and go from there and see what happens.
My gosh. And then you'll see my kids hovering around, coming in and out of the thing all the time, the cat and all the peripheral stuff that goes on.
You can see how I have my chest hair shaved into a heart. But for the podcast, I'll do it in the shape of the Cars Debut logo.
There you go. Yeah, make it classy, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Awesome. So people, you got that to look forward to.
Yeah. So to our listeners, this is one of those things where I think as a podcaster that I'm really looking for people to comment on what your thoughts are about this subject.
Yes.
Different ideas and so forth. And it's really cool because we've really started to get more people commenting on the Facebook page, which I got bit during the brain, which by the way is bit.do/FB Night Thoughts. For when people comment about specific things on the podcast, it's really cool. I love that.
I do too.
Because it's one thing for people to listen, but to me, it's about interaction.
Yeah.
And so if you have thoughts about this topic, leave a comment on the YouTube channel, leave a comment on the Facebook page, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, that'd be great. When you said that, it reminded me, did you see the post today in the Cars regarding Louise Era and Chapter X?
No.
So in the Cars group, somebody said, I didn't recognize his name, but I think he was new to the group, but he said that he was wondering about Chapter X, and he said, I was listening to the Cars podcast about this, and someone said, David did the music, but this article, and he posted a picture of a review. This little article says that it was Alan Vega and the Cars, and who knows what's going on. I mean, like, he's asking as a question, what's this real story here? Which it was really cool on the one hand to have someone out there going, I was listening to the Cars podcast, and it's like, oh, that made me feel really good. That was really cool. But then also Louise Era responded and answered the question that David did the drums on the Punch Talk, and that and then did he go on further and say that Greg was involved? He gave a few more details there. I didn't.
Okay. I see the post.
Yeah. Oh, are you on there? Yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So just very cool. Like you said, to get dialogue going and stuff. But I just love. I love finding out that people are listening. That feels really good. And then to have again someone like Louise Era respond. Are you reading it?
Yeah, okay, I see it, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Check this check out. Check this check out here. It's like, well, my understanding is that David Craig and Beck all contribute musically to the soundtrack. But what a gatekeeper about the Cars as a band. I've never seen the film itself. I'd love to more definitive info.
That
and then
girl's
she
really
goes
nice.
on to say, she goes on to kiss ass. Thanks for listening to the show, by the way.
Hey, that gal's really nice and
Really?
sincere. Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
Wait, I thought her name was McLovin.
How did that even get attached on the end of my name? I don't know.
Because Jenny D said you were showing the Pocket Benjamin love.
Oh,
And then I said, that's Sweet Purple June McLovin.
I see.
Yeah. You've never seen Superbad, have you?
No.
See? Yet another movie
Make
to
me
put
a
on the
list.
list.
Make me a list.
Yeah.
I've got summer
I gotta
coming
make-
up.
Yeah. I will.
That reminds. Did you see my comment when she handed me that to take a picture of me with Pocket Benjamin? I thought she was giving me Pocket Benjamin, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're giving this to me!" I was so excited, and she's like, "No."
No.
I know, and I was like, then I was embarrassed and disappointed. I was just like, "Oh, okay, haha."
Make your own pocket Benjamin. It's like,
Right,
it's not that hard.
There's just something about the pocket Benjamin. But then, of course, then I thought, well, maybe she'll see how broken my heart is and just offer it to me anyway. And she didn't. That Jenny, she has a soothing voice, but she's got a hard heart.
Stay strong, Jenny. Stay strong.
She's hoarding all sorts of stuff that I want, apparently. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that about wraps it up for our Fanorama Con.
Yeah, and again, just an encouragement to listeners. Let us know what you think. I really want to hear other ideas.
We do have a Midnight Scroll. I don't have to make shit up tonight, which is awesome.
Oh, yes.
So I'll run the old Midnight Scroll, Donna, and you're going to read our email. I'm going to check if we have any other emails.
Okay, I got to pull mine up, actually, really quick.
People are still like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a fake email. I know it's totally going to be a fake email.
I know, but people, I know.
This one's real, man.
I'm reading it, so you know it's real. Your comment about maybe I need to read one of the Rico ones. It'd be a lot of this. Hi, it's my podcast friends. This is your old pal Rico. Bleep, 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 the cause. Bleep, 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 the cause. Bleep, bleep. And I was like, yeah, it's like that. I was mad.
You do that very well.
Confused.
Do that again. Do the yes like that.
No, I can't. But I told you I heard his voice in my head this week. When I was reading someone's comment, you know how such and such and such? And in my brain it went, yeah, it's like that.
Well, I told you I used the word shenanigans with my wife one night. Yeah. It'd been a crappy day at school. She's like, how was your day at school? I said, oh, man, lots of third grade shenanigans going on.
She give you the stink eye, like, what?
Guys permeating my soul. That's why I can't make crap up every week. People pity me, please.
Yeah. Well, I will, especially if you end up saying something to one of your students in that voice. I was mad, flippin' confused.
Excuse me, Mr. Craig. What were the directions again? What, you some kind of fucking moron?
Here's how it went down. All right. Midnight Scroll music. Let me cue it up. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Here we go.
Take me apart 'cause I'm out of control. Send me a letter on a midnight scroll.
All right. This letter comes from our friend Elizabeth from, as Dave so eloquently put it, across the pond.
Are you going to do it in an English accent?
No, I only do that when I'm...
Don't you think Elizabeth wants you to do it in an English accent so she can say, that's such a bad English accent?
Well, as much as I would like to honor Elizabeth by doing that, I save my English accent for RTB impressions only.
Okay. Have you ever read the article about things that Americans do concerning people from Britain that infuriates the British?
No.
One of them is using the term govna. I'm sure Elizabeth would want you to put govna at the end of every sentence in this email.
Oh, see, that's why it's a good thing, Elizabeth, that I'm reading this email and not Dave.
I know Elizabeth wants you to start it out with, hello, govna.
I'm not doing it.
Elizabeth is totally hating me at this point.
I'm sure we'll get another letter.
Yeah. Dave, never do govna again.
Ever.
Ever.
All right. Hi, Dave and Donna. It's Elizabeth from England. She doesn't say across the pond. Was that on the list of things that infuriate the British, the English? Is when we say across the pond?
Elizabeth, you should do like Rico and say, hey, it's me, your old pal Elizabeth from England.
Yeah, it's like that. You know that little country across the...
Yeah, if you're going to write in, Elizabeth, just do it like that.
Yeah.
Greetings to you, my podcast friend. Hey, it's me, Elizabeth, from England.
Your old pal Liz. All right. Okay. Hi, Dave and Donna. It's Elizabeth from England. Great couple of podcasts, by the way, on the Rock Hall Cars induction. I'm afraid I only got to see it on clips on the internet, but better than nothing. They did a great job. It was lovely they all mentioned Ben. But if I'm honest, I did want to hear Ben's voice a little bit. I perfectly understand why they didn't do Drive or Play Drive, as that would have given a somber feeling to the occasion and made everyone emotional. But what they could have done is have Ben's voice playing at the beginning of Moving in Stereo and then Rick take over on the next part. That would have been a subtle way of including Ben, but without having all his voice throughout the song. The fans...
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. The fans would have gone wild about that. What do you think? Did you want to now say that's a cool idea?
I think, yeah.
Yeah?
That's a really cool idea.
That would have been neat.
How much more do you think you would have cried
Oh,
had they played Drive as the very last song as people were exiting the theater, as opposed to
no.
Bye Bye Love?
No, not because, Bye Bye Love is my Desert Island song. That's my Benjamin song. I love
Yeah.
Drive, but it's not the same as Bye Bye Love for me. You
But don't you think
would have lost
that Drive would have got more emotion going?
From me?
Yeah, from anybody.
No, not from me. From a lot of people, yeah. Because, we've talked about this before. I have an attachment to Drive, but I don't have that deep, heartfelt attachment to Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind hearing covers of it. It doesn't make me want to cry when I hear it. It's not like that. But Bye Bye Love, there's not, obviously it's not a ballad, it's not an emotional song, but that song, that's Benjamin to me, and I just, that's my jam right there.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, my attachment to the song Drive isn't so much with the song as it is the video. Like I said, that's my
Right.
favorite video, and, just to give a shout out to Paulina Porizkova, she acts the shit out of that video. I mean, she's awesome in that, and I think Rick is too.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic going in there. I've always loved it. I just thought it was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think it would have moved me in quite the same way that it does most people. Now, if they had played like Wake Me Up or Take Me Now, those songs would have made me cry my eyes out, because I cry when I hear those songs anyway. But Bye Bye Love that's my binge right there. That's my thing. So, okay. She says, one last thing. The Cars posted some pictures of them at the Rock Hall on April 13th. It says 4 photos. Go to one of them in the top right-hand corner. David's on the end. Go to the side a little bit, directly under where the red chairs are. It looks like photos on a table. And zoom in, and there's an oblong shape, and it is Benjamin standing in a doorway looking sideways. I think it was a photo from the Cars book from the 80s. I think I remember seeing it in there. So I haven't gone and done that yet. That was a lot of instructions for me today.
Okay.
But
the Cars posted some pictures of them at the Rock Hall
on April 13th. There's 4 photos, she said. I'll read it
so
one more.
on the Cars Facebook page, is that what she's referring to?
It doesn't say. I'm not sure what group she's a member of. Because she never puts her last name. I don't really know exactly who she is. Elizabeth, tell us who you are. Come find us. So I'm not sure which group, but I do remember, well, I just don't know.
Elizabeth is on our page.
Is she? What's her last name? Oh, well, tell me later, since she doesn't put it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to hook up with her. But so I'll read these instructions once again. So everybody, get your thinking caps on and get ready. Get your fingers ready to click and find. The Cars posted some pictures of them at the Rock Hall on April 13th. Go to the one of them in the top right-hand corner. David's on the end. Go to the side a little bit, directly under where the red chairs are. It looks like photos on a table. And zoom in. There's an oblong shape, and in it is Benjamin standing in a doorway looking sideways. I think it was a photo from the Cars book from the 80s. I think I remember seeing it in there. So, on your market, set, go.
I think
Everybody go
she's
find
sending
that.
us on a treasure hunt.
I know it is kind of a little bit of a go find it. First one back to the group and posts it gets something. Huckleberry Taffy. Do it, people.
There you go.
Okay, so then she ends with, so little did the Cars know that in his own way, Benjamin was included in that photo shoot, but from a distance, looking great as always, which is very nice thought. To me, that tells me he is there with them, but not right up front, but from a distance. Hope you enjoyed the ceremony on HBO, Dave. Which
Haven't watched it yet, but
haven't seen it yet.
Late tomorrow night, probably.
And then she signs it Liz, and she gives a little X. Now, that's a kiss, right? When people sign off with XX, isn't that a kiss?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so she's blowing us a kiss.
One kiss for both of us. Let's have a kiss.
I think it's probably for me.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
If she sends two, we'll know that she intends one of those to be for you. Poor Elizabeth. Yes.
And from what I understand, there's a lot of people who aren't able to get HBO, where they're at, if they're overseas or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yes.
It's a darn shame.
Well, and all the more reason why HBO should put it on a DVD.
Yeah.
And get it out there in the market,
I don't see. They haven't done it for other,
Yeah,
inductions.
I don't know. So thanks for writing in, Liz. Sure appreciate it. And we will try to go find that picture. Somebody else go find it too.
Elizabeth, our only podcast fan who knows how to type. Bless her heart.
Yes, she's a faithful listener and writer in, which we really appreciate. And now I have to find out who she is, more specifically.
Show yourself.
She's behind the curtain. Nothing to see here.
Nothing, no.
The great and powerful Oz.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I do want to read one of the comments on our YouTube video. If that's okay.
Cool. Yeah.
This is
how many subscribers do we have?
Oh,
we had 77 last time.
We have 82.
Holy cow!
I know. I'm loving it.
Leaps and bounds.
Yes. Do we have followers on iTunes, or have we determined if we can track that at all? I
haven't figured out how to do that yet, but
Okay.
you can find stats and how many people are subscribed and how many downloads there have been and so forth and so on.
Okay.
Same thing with all of our BitDo addresses. We can look and see the traffic-wise, how many people have gone and those kinds of things.
Nice. Okay. Well, hopefully that's on the uptick. This is a comment on last week's episode, or the last episode we did, episode 28, part 2 of the Cleveland Rocks series. This is from a listener who goes by Grace Geek. He is... the picture, his little avatar is a bearded man with glasses and kind of hipster looking, cartoonish. It's a little graphic picture kind of thing. So I always picture this person as looking exactly like that. So I actually don't know if Grace Geek is a guy or a girl. I'm thinking it's a guy. Anyway, Grace Geek, show yourself. No. Grace Geek wrote, "Great podcast as usual. My thoughts on the speeches and the uncomfortableness. How much speaking to a live audience did the Cars ever do throughout the course of their careers? The Cars never engaged their audiences live, so should we wonder that they kind of struggled speaking to a live audience? As far as David's speech, I think he was in panic mode, very nervous. ... I thought that was a really good point to bring up. The Cars were never big public speakers. I mean, one-on-one interviews, they did a lot of that, but not a bunch of live big audience stuff. So that was
I can remember Benjamin Orr saying one of those times that I met him or whatever. Somebody asked him about, what was the deal with you at Live Aid? Were you drunk or blah blah blah? And I watched that interview. I don't think he's acting that weird. I don't think he's acting weird at all. And a lot of people have commented on that. What's he doing that's odd?
Well, he's kind of floppy-bodied, a little slurred. And I know it's really loud there, so he's, really leaning into Martha Quinn, and just kind of the way I think he looks like he's...
You got to realize he's got a grown man with short shorts sitting next to him. How comfortable could he be? He's got a curly perm-haired dude with Daisy Dukes
and
sitting next
tube
to
socks.
him. And tube socks. And he's like,
gassing about
here.
gassing about the Led Zeppelin reunion, and
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about Led Zeppelin. Get me out of here. I just want to talk to Martha.
you're right. You're right. He was up against some big odds there. I've said in the past that I was surprised that Martha Quinn wasn't sitting in Benjamin's lap just because of the attraction of Benjamin. But now that you bring that up, I'm actually surprised Benjamin wasn't sitting in Martha Quinn's lap just to get a little farther away from those bare legs and the Daisy Dukes. I could see that.
You know what? Even today, if I'm going down the street and on my side of the street, walking towards me is Mark Goodman. On the opposite side of the street is Martha Quinn. I'm crossing the street for Martha Quinn.
Of course.
That's all there is to it. Just based on the fact of, well, one, I think I've said before, I had a little teenage crush on Martha
Yes.
Quinn. But the other thing is, she's much more approachable.
Yes.
I think than Mark Goodman.
Yes.
So.
And especially if he's wearing the Daisy Dukes, I don't care who's on the other side of the street. I'm crossing
He's wearing the Dukes. Yeah. No kidding. Oh, smokes.
Good old Mark Goodman. I have to tell you, I read the book, I think it's called VJs, and it's the story of the original video jockeys from MTV, and it's Martha and Nina and Alan and Mark all contribute to this book, and it's really good. And it did do some good in redeeming Mark Goodman in my eyes because, in retrospect, he did admit, that he was quite pompous, and he brought kind of a humble perspective to the book. So I appreciated that he was able to look back and see what a tool he could be at times. So that's a good read.
A tool.
What?
Yeah. I love that. It's just one of my favorite phrases. What a tool.
Oh, okay, good. I thought you were going to make fun of me for something. Because I didn't use a swear word.
I will read this comment from our Weisenheimer Brainstorm episode.
Oh, okay.
Gentleman who's posting Ron Stebbings.
Ah, yes.
In quotes, "He that shall not be named." Ha ha.
Love it.
He who shall not be named.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I love reading comments on the YouTube videos. So thank you, everyone who posts, and please keep commenting. I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah, we love it. All right, Donna. So where can people find you?
Ooh, come find me on Twitter.
Out there in social media.
Yes, please look me up. I'm on Twitter at Sweet Purple June. I am also on Facebook. I have my own Benjamin Orr page called Benjamin Orr : Sweet Purple June. And I have a blog, sweetpurplejune.wordpress.com. Come find me.
Yeah. And once again, you can find us both on bit.do/FB Night Thoughts for the official Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast Facebook page. You can also find me behind the fake Rico Kazik profile. Somebody follow Rico. I actually sent out some friend requests to people, and I think one accepted. And I'm not even doubting that they're going like, who the hell is this Rico Kazik guy? Oh, I think they knew who Rico Kazik is. I don't want to follow that. What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
But you can find me on Twitter. I'm the Twitter guy. At @night_spots. Oh, and we must also mention that we have our Night Thoughts
Twitter.
On Twitter, too.
Yes.
At the Cars Podcast.
Nice, yes.
Because we are the number one longest running podcast about the cars. So
Yeah, we are.
you can follow Night Thoughts on Twitter now.
Yes.
So
And what was it? At the Cars Podcast?
at the Cars Podcast.
All right.
Which I was surprised that one wasn't taken, just based on all the automotive guys that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it really shocked me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we got it.
But weirdly enough, Night Thoughts is taken. So I couldn't do just like at Night Thoughts. Nope, taken.
Oh,
At
that's why you
Night
did
Thoughts. At Night Thoughts Podcast, taken.
Huh. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, weird.
You know, if you do a
So
search on YouTube for Night Thoughts by itself, there is some other podcast that comes up.
Yeah. They stole our idea. Yeah, they went back in time
Yeah.
and stole our idea.
Yeah. Dang it.
Amazing.
Those guys. I'm shaking my fist.
Yep.
Um,
So follow us, people.
you do. And follow Martha Quinn, too, just because we're talking about her, and I love her.
Yeah.
And she posted that thing today asking somebody what their Kentucky Derby horse was.
Yeah.
And when I put Night Trots on there, I totally wanted to continue that conversation, but I didn't want to, hijack her tweet. But I totally was going to say something about, because you said that could be our new podcast name, and I was thinking, what, are you going to talk about your colonoscopy all the time?
That's right. Got the Night Trots.
Night Trots. Oh, I was cracking myself up with that.
Hoofbeat City. There we go.
Hoofbeat City, that's right.
By a nose. Hoofbeat City.
Oh my goodness, so funny. And you know what? Dave, you need to do something. People, this was after hours, so to speak. It was off the air. Dave came up with this song.
Are you talking about the Moody Blues?
Yes, the Depends commercial featuring Dry Nights in White Satin. You have to do that. Was gold, absolute gold. You have got to do something with that.
I get this feeling that that's one of those things that would only be funny to the people involved in the Facebook Messenger at the time.
No, it was so
Yes.
perfect.
I would totally sing it right now if I thought that our listeners at large would find any humor in it.
Hey,
But
let's try. Let's put it up for a vote. You sing it,
Sure.
and we'll find out what people think after the fact.
tell you what, you run the poll. You post the poll on the Facebook page. Do you want to hear David Depends commercial featuring the Moody Blues on the podcast? I'll totally sing it.
How many votes do we have to get in order for you to sing it? Does it just have to
You
win?
know what? It just has to win.
I'm doing it. I'm so doing it.
It's so funny because my late wife and I used to make fun of that song all the time because it was just, it's one of those songs that would come on the radio and we'd be, oh dear Lord,
I know.
not do it, and especially after that really freaky opening. That
Oh, yes.
Night in White Satin.
Oh my gosh, I know, and I was totally the same way. But seeing it live, I loved it live. I loved it at the.
It is a classic song.
And in that event, in that time, it was perfect. It was wonderful. I have not gone back really and listened to it since then. I'm not sure. I'm sure I would have an attachment to it now, but I totally get it. That was one song that was. In fact, I said that at the beginning of their set. I hope they don't play Nights in White Satin. And they did.
Another song that I don't know. Some people get certain bands, some people don't. I've never understood the Doors. I've never understood the attraction.
Yes.
And if I'm on listening to the classic rock radio station and that song Riders in the Storm comes on, I always sing it like this. Boring fucking song. Boring fucking song. Do. It goes on way too long. Do, do. Boring fucking song. And that's just since I was a teenager. That's how it just pops into my head.
Oh my gosh, I will never not hear that now. That
Yeah.
is awesome.
Because it's like, God, this song goes on forever.
Oh, an eternity. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that's my whole thing with the Doors is I just, I don't do the long jams. I just don't. The Cars when they play Take What You Want and Elliott does his thing, that I can do. It took me a while to warm up to it, but I love it now. I do not do the long jams, and the Doors just go on. And like you try to turn the radio station and you listen to like 3 other songs and you go back to the classic rock station and it's still on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Those are the new lyrics for me for that one. If I come across that again, I'll still turn the station, but I'll be thinking those words.
All right. So, hey, people, post your comments on what you thought of this podcast. Give us your ideas. What's your thoughts on having a Fanorama Cars Con, even at its lowest levels, like we talked about. Mm-hmm. And Donna's going to post that poll.
I'm doing it.
Dry nights in white satin.
I'm doing it.
I may even spring for the karaoke
Music.
karaoke version on iTunes, so I could have some background music.
Oh my gosh!
And
You have to. You have to. If not for them,
No,
you have to do it for me.
oh, sure. Okay. So anyway, do that, folks. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back with episode 30 in a week or so.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, Donna, take us out.
All right, thanks everybody. Bye.
Greetings, my podcast friends. It's your old pal Rico here. Why the fuck are you still listening? And while you're here, you might as well hear this disclaimer. NiGHT, the Cars podcast, is not directly affiliated with the Cars or Rhino Records. So we don't end up swimming with the fishes. Here's how the whole thing goes down. You know how fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might other infringe on others' fucking rights? Yeah, it's like that. In fact, we don't make no money. We record this podcast for personal use and teach you stuff so you're not a fucking moron. Tips the balance of our podcast shenanigans in favor of fair use. Now get the fuck out of here.